Oh, got you. I
Uh-oh.
All right, what a day, what a day. The GOAT, Caitlin Clark, made her return to the basketball floor today. I showed y'all, we got some live clips. I'm gonna show y'all some more. But the important part of this video, Caitlin Clark destroyed the WNBA. Nneka Ogwumike, Nafisa Collier, who tries to name drop her at her convenience to win people over, Breanna Stewart, the unrivaled co-founders, all these people that's a part of the board that's signing with Project B, and all of this stuff. Caitlin Clark called their asses out today. She said, stop playing games. We need to play.
We have been waiting quite some time to see Caitlin Clark play basketball. Not only take shots and shoot around, but actually go up against something that looks like competition in an actual, competitive environment. Not just shoot off a rack, not go 1v air, actually play some basketball.
I'm not making this up. The top star in the league just approached a microphone and denounced everyone who was undermining the 2026 campaign. She also didn't stammer. Caitlin Clark expressed what everyone has been thinking while the WNBA board members are out here signing contracts with Project B and Unrivaled and playing 3-on-3 for pocket change. Give up gaming. WNBA basketball is essential. Time.
The crew has officially arrived for USA basketball camp in North Carolina. We got Caitlin Clark pulling up. We got Caitlin Clark and AB. We got Rakia Jackson, De'Arica Hamby, CC and AB.
Negotiation strategies are no longer relevant in this situation. This relates to women's basketball's future. Additionally, the one person that genuinely packs arenas has informed the union that she would not stand by as they destroy the league. Allow me to explain precisely what transpired and why this is a game changer. 4 months, the WNBA and WNBA have been negotiating a CBA. The deadline has been extended to October 30th. We are now considering January 9th. Fans are left wondering if there will even be a 2026 season after 140 further days of back and forth. This is when things get messy. The same individuals that negotiate on behalf of athletes are out here signing contracts with the WNBA board. Rival leagues. The co-founders of Unrivaled, Nneka Ogwumike, Breanna Stewart, and Nafisa Collier, are expected to be negotiating with the WNBA in good faith. It's not even close to being covered by conflict of interest. Are you saying that the owners of a rival 3-on-3 league are also the ones holding up talks that would end the WNBA season? Make sense of it. Additionally, people have been waiting for a real celebrity to speak up. Not a union representative reciting talking points. Not a press release with clever wording. To express something genuine, we needed someone who could make a difference. Caitlin Clark comes in. She returned to the court shortly after her accident, and she has already left the circus. At USA basketball camp, she took the microphone and unleashed a bombshell that is still reverberating. This is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it can't be messed up, the statement reads. We must play basketball while fighting for what we deserve. Our supporters want for that. Finish the quote. I'll translate that for you. I'm not playing your little 3-on-3 games, Caitlin Clark recently stated. I won't be unmatched. Project B is not something I'm working on. I'm a WNBA player. Basketball. And before you wreck everything, you all need to figure this out. She didn't end there. She continued. Playing games is how you earn money. You develop your market in this way. Fans want to witness that. Exhibitions and off-season competitions are not the product on the floor. The actual stuff. Here's the worst part. We can compromise on some things, she stated. Perhaps not a 5-year contract. Do a 3-year CBA, return to the table sooner, and renegotiate once the league has truly expanded. However, we must play. That is the essence of leadership. That person is aware that if you burn down the entire bakery, you won't be able to bargain for a larger pie. The WNBA recently had its greatest season ever. Ratings via the roof. Records of attendance were destroyed. A $2.2 billion television contract. And for what reason does the union now choose to jeopardize all of that momentum? Due to the league's $5 million salary cap, the maximum pay is $1.5 million. Revenue sharing that can raise the maximum contract value to $1.2 million and annual raises based on league expansion. Oh, but hold on. According to the WNBPA, it is insufficient. They claim that players only receive 10 to 15% of the estimated league earnings under the revenue sharing arrangement. The league allegedly plans to stop providing housing subsidies. Training camp may begin in March, they suggest. Let me clarify this. You wish to postpone the housing season subsidies when you're playing 3-on-3 in a gym with 500 spectators and signing contracts with leagues that don't even have housing. Caitlin Clark can see right through it. She is aware that this expansion is being fueled by her selling out arenas. Every game, she drew more than 17,000 spectators on average. ESPN is discussing the WNBA during primetime because of her. The $250 million price tag for expansion franchises is due to her. And she is saying, "I'll bring in the money again," to the union. "I'll fill the seats once more, but I need your permission to play. Don't ruin this opportunity by worrying about accommodation or training camp dates when we may be creating something that is generational." This is what no one is saying aloud. A speedy conclusion is not what the WNBPA board members, who have conflicting league interests, want. Their 3-on-3 league receives more interest each month that the WNBA season is postponed. Every dispute serves as unrivaled free advertising. Consider it. Nobody is interested in watching 3-on-3 basketball in February if the WNBA season begins on schedule. However, Unrivaled becomes the only venue to witness WNBA stars if the WNBA doesn't exist. That isn't a strategy for negotiating. It's a hostile takeover. And that was just called out by Caitlin Clark. She made it quite obvious without mentioning names or disparaging anyone. A few individuals at that. The interests of the league are not the focus of negotiations. Her remarks are also perfectly timed. She is the one stating the truth while surrounded by other WNBA players at USA basketball camp. Neither the board members nor the union president. The player who says, "We need to play," is the one who really generates income. Who else noticed, do you know? The spectators. Social media took off. Everyone had been anticipating CC's opinion. She did not let us down. "I'm not playing around with these alternative leagues, WNBA or nothing," she essentially stated. And that puts tremendous pressure on the WNBPA because what is the union's justification if Caitlin Clark is openly stating that we must play and make concessions? They are unable to conceal their fight when their brightest star says we should be allowed to play, we no longer deserve it. An article regarding this catastrophe was written by CBS Sports. "The WNBA is undermining its own product again," is the headline. They emphasized that players are still struggling for fundamental respect despite billionaires paying $250 million for expansion teams, values exceeding $500 million, and a huge TV agreement. The problem is that respect isn't solely based on money. Integrity is the key. Additionally, it is disrespectful and treachery when your union leadership signs with rival leagues while negotiating your CBA due to conflicting financial interests. Caitlin Clark has an insight. The union doesn't. Strong-arming your way to reverence. Delivering the product is how you earn it. You get it by being so indisputable that the market is forced to pay you what you are worth. It was her own words. In WNBA history, this is the most significant moment. Don't make a mistake. She is correct, too. This is where things start to change. This is the point at which the league either takes advantage of previously unheard-of momentum or makes a mistake. The offer from the WNBA isn't ideal. In comparison to NBA standards, a salary cap of $5 million is still insufficient. 10 to 15% revenue sharing is still less than what gamers desire. What's worse than that, though? Absolutely no season. Caitlin Clark understands. "We must play this season," she remarked. "Everyone whoever comes before us is deserving of that. The legends who founded this league are on her mind. The fans who have finally begun to pay attention are on her mind. She is considering what lies ahead. The WNBPA board is considering their side deals, leverage, and 3-on-3 league in the meanwhile. While CC is playing chess, they are playing checkers. Additionally, the chess move is straightforward. Play the season, win, and return to the table with even more clout. Make the following 3 years so successful that the league is forced to quadruple your compensation if you want a better deal in 3 years. If you want to be respected, you should be so important that losing you would bring down the entire business. Caitlin Clark is stating as much. And that impetus has vanished. Caitlin Clark is aware of that. The union doesn't. That's how you make money, she stated rather seriously. You develop your market in this way. Instead of holding the goods hostage, you may play, deliver the product, and give fans what they want and hoping that supporters remain loyal. Let's also discuss what would happen if the 2026 season didn't exist. Teams that paid $250 million for expansion are sitting on worthless assets. TV networks that inked a $2.2 billion contract will have unfilled programming spaces. Sponsors are withdrawing. More significantly, momentum is lost. The casual viewers who were drawn in by Caitlin Clark have vanished. There is no longer any media coverage. The excitement, enthusiasm, and sense that women's basketball was at last making a breakthrough have all vanished. That is what is in jeopardy. The only person with a microphone who seems to get it is Caitlin Clark. The next negotiation is not on her mind. She is thinking about the next 10 years. She is considering constructing a sustainable structure. The WNVPA is considering winning the conflict. Caitlin Clark is considering winning the conflict. Additionally, it is occasionally necessary to give up some ground in order to win a conflict. That is a tactic. Leadership is that. The other thing is this. She is placing the union in a precarious situation. They appear irrational if they keep dragging this out after their biggest star publicly demanded a compromise. They appear to be putting their egos ahead of the game. Additionally, if they give in and accept a bargain, they will need to justify why Caitlin Clark's involvement was the catalyst for their decision. In any case, the story has been lost. They were just examined by CC without any effort. When you have true star power, that's what occurs. It is not necessary for Caitlin Clark to engage in politics. She doesn't have to phrase things carefully. She just states the obvious, and because she has gained reputation, everyone pays attention. In the meantime, the union has been attempting to gain power by using her name. Her name is dropped by Nisa Collier. Although other players make use of her prominence, she doesn't support them when she speaks. She prefers to play basketball. That must hurt. After months of attempting to leverage someone's celebrity for your negotiations, they openly oppose your approach. That's a large L. Let's now discuss what this entails going forward. Caitlin Clark has provided the WNBPA with all the cover they require to utilize replacement players if an agreement is not reached by January 9th. We must play, she declared. The fans are worthy of it. The league may claim, well, our biggest star said we need to play, so we're playing, and they will be correct if the union goes on strike or leaves. Caitlin Clark's remarks will serve as proof that athletes wish to participate even if the union does not. Nuclear leverage is that. Caitlin Clark's statement, "We need to play basketball," is now featured in the league. They are able to blast that everywhere. Press releases, advertisements, and social media. The union says we should play, and the league's face says we ought not to. Which side do you think supporters will support? The PR war was just lost by the WNBPA. Caitlin Clark completely changed the story in a single press appearance. Players and owners are no longer at odds. It pits players and supporters against a broken union. And that's the fact that no one wants to acknowledge. The players' best interests are not being served by the union. They are behaving in the union leadership's best interest. There's a distinction. Gamers desire to participate. Gamers want to get compensated. Players want to maintain the momentum from the previous year. The goal of union leadership is to make a statement, show off their might, and possibly advance their side businesses in the process. All of that was just revealed by Caitlin Clark. She was not required to provide names. She didn't need to confront anyone directly. She simply stated the facts, and everyone is aware of who she is referring to. That is the strength of being indisputable. She is not required to engage in gaming. She doesn't have to engage in politics. She simply appears, says the truth, and observes everyone else's hasty reactions. And they will respond. Because the WNBPA must now react. They are unable to overlook this. Their biggest star recently expressed public disapproval of their approach. They must either turn around and appear weak, or they must step up their efforts and keep an eye out of contact. It wasn't only a statement made by Caitlin Clark. Everyone's hands were forced by her. She sped up the chronology. It was impossible to continue playing these games because of her. She did all of this while coming out as sensible, responsible, and goal-oriented. That is a leadership masterclass. You utilize your platform in this manner. Saying what needs to be said when it needs to be said is more important than grandstanding or gaining political points. There was a recent shift in leadership in the WNBA. The old guard wants to use leverage and prolong talks. The new guard aspires to both create the future and play basketball. Additionally, the new guard just prevailed. Because without stars, this league just cannot function. Additionally, there is now just one star large enough to shift the needle. And she simply spoke her opinions to everyone. The WNBPA cannot disregard Caitlin Clark, even if they fall in line or fall behind. No more. She has had enough of staying silent. She has had enough of having others speak for her. She is now speaking for herself. Additionally, what she's expressing is straightforward. Give up gaming. We must play hoops. The fans are worthy of it. The league is deserving of it. And anyone obstructing that must get out of the way. That serves as a reminder of reality. The WNBA's greatest moment has arrived, and the biggest star in the league recently advised everyone to quit making mistakes. Let's check to see whether anyone is paying attention now. Let me know by leaving a comment. Should players stand their ground no matter what, or is Caitlin Clark correct to criticize the union? Since this discussion is only getting started, I have a suspicion that we will soon discover who actually cares about women's basketball.